about making great content today? I mean, we all understand by now that if you want the attention of your target audience, you better create some great content. And so you may be wondering, so how do I do that? Well, it's actually quite simple, because good content is useful. And if you want to be useful, you have to understand how you can help your target audience. That sounds pretty obvious, doesn't it? But what it really comes down to is understanding what the day in the life of someone in your target audience actually looks like. And then it's about creating the kind of information that helps them get through that day and helps them overcome some of their challenges. Let's have a look at this with an example. I'd like to use an example of an industry that I have been most active in. It's the asset management industry or the investment industry. The typical working day of a person that I would seek to do business with would start with a morning meeting where they go over the markets and sort of brief each other on their outlooks for their investment ideas and things like that. And what's really important is that everybody in that meeting contributes to the overall effort of basically giving very good insights and ideas for what to do with their clients' money. So that often is their first challenge of the day. But before they get to the office, they would typically commute to work. And they would be either on a train or on the tube. And more and more people are either reading reports or listening to podcasts. So I was thinking that it might make a lot of sense to produce the kind of insights that people could listen to while they're on their way to work, so they could come to their morning meeting well prepared. This in turn then means that you have to learn how to produce audio content, run a podcast and publish these things so they're easily accessible on places like YouTube or Stitcher or whatever other platform that people commonly use when they listen to podcasts. But that's just a technicality that serves the purpose of creating that kind of tool or that kind of information that could get these people off to a good start of the day. Another good example would be where when I do a client meeting, we typically talk about what I specialize in, and those are exotic frontier markets. And these are not very common investment destinations. A lot of people still really have to get comfortable with them and understand them. But it doesn't always mean that the person I'm talking to is not really a believer or doesn't really want to do this. But what it often really comes down to, his challenge is that he has to convince his colleagues and maybe even his clients that this is a good idea. And it's a good idea, but it's a very uncommon idea often. So it occurred to me also that I could be helpful in this process. I could leave him with a typical copy of my presentation, but I could do a little bit more. And it occurred to me that if I would record a narrated version of my presentation and post it online or make it easily transferable by essentially putting it on YouTube so people can forward the link, I'm actually doing my client a service, because not only can he send this on to his colleagues or his clients so they can hear it for themselves, but it also sort of relieves him from a lot of the responsibility of having to carry the idea. So I hope that gives you an idea of what useful content really is all about. It's really not about you, but it's about your audience. It's about how you can add value. It's a small, simple example from something that makes up a part of my daily life, but I'm sure if you think about it, you can apply the same kind of easy solutions for the people that you are aiming to do more business with.